Hello, my name is Tiffany Couch, and I am the elected Clerk of Circuit Court for Montgomery County, Virginia. In this video, you will hear from the Chief Justice of the Supreme Court of Virginia. I hope you take great pride in being a member of the jury, for you will be fulfilling your civic duty and responsibility. Please take a moment to review the letter I wrote to you, find your specific panel assigned to you, and review our website, www.montva.com/jury. That's www.montva.com/jury, where you will find resources that will make your interactions with the court as easy and efficient as possible. Here you'll find the Juror Answer Book, instructions to be excused, the date your specific panel is to report, our jury information phone number, and frequently asked questions. I am excited to share, as of July 2026, I have started providing an innovative approach and cost-effective way to compensate you for your jury service. On your first day of service, myself or a member of my team will provide you with a Getting Started pamphlet that has a debit card enclosed. I will make it a priority to have these funds loaded onto your card within 10 business days after service. This is a great example of how, based on direct feedback from citizens, I effectively and affordably apply modern technology, always with the taxpayer in mind. At the end of this current calendar year, you will not be eligible to serve on a circuit court jury for a period of 3 years. While we understand that jury service may appear inconvenient by taking time away from your work and your family, you should know that by law, you will not be penalized or asked to use vacation or sick leave during your time of jury service by your employer. However, if you have a reason you feel you cannot serve, such as a physical ailment, a special conflict, or genuine hardship, please bring this to the court's attention. As your elected Clerk of Circuit Court, I want to make sure your time serving as a juror is as comfortable as possible. Thank you for your time and your attention to detail and your sacrifice away from home, work, and your family. If you have questions at the end of this video, please reach out to my office so we may better serve you. On behalf of myself, my team, Montgomery County, the judges of this court, and the Sheriff's Office, I want to thank you for serving as a juror. The decisions you make are important and can affect someone's liberties and even the lives of your fellow citizens.
The Commonwealth of Virginia, also known as the birthplace of a nation, is home to a rich history and diversity of culture. It is also home to some of the oldest institutions in our nation. The Supreme Court of Virginia is one of the oldest continuous judicial bodies in the United States and served as a model for the United States Supreme Court. For centuries, justice has been administered in courtrooms across Virginia, from some of the smallest disputes all the way to landmark cases that have shaped the very fabric of our nation. The crowning achievement in our justice system is the right to trial by jury.
Hello and welcome. I am Cleo E. Powell, Chief Justice of the Supreme Court of Virginia. You have been selected as a prospective juror, and your participation reflects one of the most important responsibilities we share as citizens of this Commonwealth. Trial by jury is a fundamental right protected by both the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of Virginia. It ensures that when people come before our courts, their cases are heard and decided by citizens who are committed to fairness, impartiality, and justice. When you serve as a juror, you take an oath to reach a verdict based solely on the evidence presented in the courtroom and the law as the judge explains. You may hear testimony from witnesses, review exhibits, and consider arguments from both sides. Your role is to listen carefully, weigh the facts, and apply the law with integrity. In the next few minutes, you will learn more about what to expect during jury service and the important role you play in our justice system. I encourage you to approach this responsibility with attention and care. Jury service is not only a legal duty, it is a meaningful act of civic engagement and a direct contribution to the strength of our democracy.
Somebody reporting for jury service for the first time, come in with an open mind. You might get picked, so be prepared to stay for the day. It's an exciting thing, and I think it's a privilege to sit on a jury. So,
I think I learned a lot of stuff I didn't know ahead of time. I wasn't sure what I was getting into when I got called for it. Sort of looked at it as an inconvenience, but ended up learning a lot about the process.
Welcome to jury service. As a United States citizen and resident of our Commonwealth, you have been randomly selected to serve as a juror. Serving as a juror is one of the most important responsibilities of citizenship, and we want to thank you for your service. We hope this video will answer many of your questions about jury service and that you will become more familiar with the jury trial process. By the conclusion of your jury service, we trust you will leave with an even stronger understanding and appreciation of our system of justice. Jury trials begin with a jury selection process. During jury selection, names are randomly selected from those on jury service to form a panel, from which the trial jury will be selected. During your orientation, you may be assigned a number to assist in this process. If you have questions, please ask the jury coordinator. The jury coordinator will help to familiarize you with the procedures of the court. When you sign in for jury duty in most courthouses, you may be given a badge to wear. While on court premises, you should always have this badge on display, as it lets everyone know you are an active juror. While waiting during the jury selection process, you should remain in the jury room or appointed area, as you may be called upon at any time. The jury coordinator must know where to find you at any time during your jury service. There are two main categories of cases that could potentially require a jury: civil and criminal. A criminal case is a case in which someone is accused of committing a crime. A civil case is a lawsuit between two or more parties and typically involves monetary requests due to an event or disagreement between parties. There are some differences between criminal jury trials and civil jury trials that you should know. In a criminal case where a person faces a misdemeanor charge, 7 jurors will be selected to hear the case. If the person is found guilty, or, in other words, convicted, they may be fined or sentenced up to 12 months confinement. 12 jurors will be selected for a criminal case when the person is charged with a felony. A person convicted of a felony offense may be sentenced to a fine, jail time, or prison time. If the jury finds the accused guilty, the court will determine the punishment for the offense unless the defendant requested punishment be decided by the jury. The number of jurors needed in a civil case generally depends on the amount of damages claimed by the plaintiff. Generally, 5 or 7 jurors will be selected to serve. In a civil jury trial, the jury decides the verdict and awards any damages. A civil case must be proven by greater weight of the evidence. In contrast, a criminal case must be proven beyond a reasonable doubt. When it is time for a jury to be selected, the bailiff will escort all potential jurors from the jury assembly room into the courtroom. Before the trial begins, a panel of potential jurors will be selected and questioned in a process known as voir dire, which means to speak the truth. Voir dire is a method to determine whether a prospective juror can be fair and is otherwise qualified to serve on a jury. The clerk or bailiff will ask the potential jurors to stand, raise their right hand, and swear or affirm that they will truthfully answer the questions that they are about to be asked. The judge will state the names of the parties, their attorneys, and witnesses involved in the case, and a brief description of the nature of the case. The court and attorneys will ask questions to learn more about you and whether you should be selected to serve as a juror. You may be asked about your occupation and other questions that may be considered personal if they could be relevant to the case. Usually, questions are asked of the entire panel. At times, an individual may be asked to explain their answer. If your answer is embarrassing or too personal to share with everyone, you can request to speak privately to the attorneys and the judge to explain your response. In the interest of providing a fair trial, it is extremely important for you, the potential juror, to acknowledge if you know any of the persons identified or if you have any other conflict that will keep you from being fair to both parties in the case. The judge will excuse those on the panel whose knowledge of the people or circumstances would affect their impartiality. By questioning the jury panel, the attorneys narrow down the pool of jurors to the people who they think will be able to deliver a fair verdict in the case. There is no limit to the number of prospective jurors the attorneys may ask the court to strike for cause. Their requests will usually be made on the grounds that the juror cannot be impartial because they know a party in the case or a specific reason considered sufficient by the judge. There is, however, a fixed number of preemptory strikes each side is allowed. A preemptory strike means that the attorney does not need to state a reason to excuse a potential juror. However, an attorney may not use a preemptory strike to exclude a juror based on race or gender. You may be excused at this stage of the trial. Do not take your dismissal personally, as there are many potential reasons a person is not selected to sit in a particular case. You have already performed a valuable service just by being present and participating in the selection process. Once the jury has been selected, the jurors will take an oath promising to fairly decide the case. The trial is now ready to begin.
So some things that I realized that I needed to do to be a fair juror was to not include any bias that I may have in relevance to the case. So any issues that I may have had with the defendant, I had to make null and void in my own mind.
I think the first thing that I had to do during jury service was to immediately understand that making a decision at the beginning was the last thing to do.
In the first stage of the trial, the attorneys will have the opportunity to present opening statements. An opening statement is an overview of the case the party intends to prove and is not to be considered as evidence. After opening statements, each side will have the opportunity to provide evidence to support their case. Evidence may consist of, but is not limited to, witness testimony, documents, articles, photographs, or objects. Nearly anything that pertains to the case could potentially be offered as evidence. Once a lawyer has finished the direct questioning of a witness, the opposing lawyer will have the opportunity to cross-examine that witness. After the plaintiff in a civil case or the prosecutor in a criminal case has finished presenting evidence, that party will tell the judge that side rests its case. The defense is then given the opportunity, but is not required to present evidence. It is important that you pay close attention and carefully consider all the evidence. Keep an open mind and do not form any conclusions until you have heard all the evidence in the case. Trials are conducted according to rules, and objections are made to ensure the rules are followed. Occasionally, you may hear a lawyer object to a certain question asked of a witness or to certain evidence that is presented. Objections are made when a lawyer believes that there is an improper legal basis for a piece of evidence. The court will make a ruling on whether the potential evidence or witness testimony can be admitted and considered by the jury. If the judge rules the evidence should be allowed, the judge will overrule the objection, and the witness will be allowed to answer the question. However, if the judge agrees with the objection will be sustained, which means the jury will not be permitted to hear an answer to the question. From time to time during a trial, the attorneys may request a bench conference so they can discuss with the judge various legal issues, such as whether certain evidence may be admitted. The jury may even be asked to briefly leave so that the judge may discuss a matter in private with counsel. This may be frustrating to you, but it is important that as the juror you only hear evidence that the law allows to be presented in a case. During the trial, you may not discuss the case with anyone except your fellow jurors during deliberations. As a juror, you are only allowed to consider the evidence that is presented in the courtroom in making your decision. Therefore, whenever you are recessed from the courtroom for lunch, a break, or overnight, you are not allowed to discuss the case with anyone, including your family, friends, or fellow jurors. If anyone tries to discuss the case with you, notify the judge immediately.
It was tough not to talk to family and friends once I was picked for the jury about what was going on, especially because we don't see a lot of cases or criminal acts every day, so it was kind of exciting to hear the evidence in the case, and I wanted to share that with others but couldn't.
During your service as a juror in a trial, do not do any independent research on the case. You should avoid any newspaper, television, news programming, or social media that could include information about the trial in which you are sitting as a juror. Please do not send or accept any electronic communications about the case for the duration of the trial. Even if you inadvertently receive information about the case from an outside source, such as social media or a text message on your phone, you could jeopardize the fairness of the trial or even cause a mistrial. Your role as a juror is to determine the facts of the case based on an evaluation of all the evidence the judge rules admissible.
It was a little difficult not being able to express things about the case during my breaks with friends and family, but at the end of the day, I knew it was best for the case, for the outcome.
After both sides have finished presenting their evidence, the judge will instruct you on the law in the case. It is your job as the juror to apply the law to the facts as you find them. The judge's instructions are the law in the case, and you must follow them during deliberations. After the instructions are given, each side will present closing arguments. Closing arguments summarize each side's view of what the evidence does and does not support. During closing arguments, the attorneys for each side will give the reasons why the jury should decide in favor of that side. Like opening statements, the closing arguments are not to be considered as evidence. Once you have heard closing arguments, you will be escorted to the jury deliberation room, where you will begin discussing the case with your fellow jurors in confidentiality. At this point, the case is in the jury's hands for decision. In the jury room, the jurors should elect a foreperson to lead the deliberations. The foreperson is responsible for maintaining order during deliberations. If you have a question, the foreperson should write it down and give it to the bailiff, who will take it to the judge. During deliberations, speak freely and keep an open mind. Listen to the opinions and points of views of the other jurors, but make your own decision. Were the witnesses credible? Was the evidence convincing? After a full discussion of the issues, you will each need to state your decision. If you do not agree with your fellow jurors, you may continue to discuss the case. In both criminal and civil cases, a jury's decision must be unanimous. When the jury has reached its unanimous verdict, the foreperson must sign the verdict form and notify the bailiff. The bailiff will alert the judge, and all parties will be summoned back into court. After the verdict is announced, the lawyers may ask the judge to question the jurors individually to confirm that the verdict is accurate. This is called polling the jury. After the jury has returned its verdict, the judge will then dismiss the jury, and you will be free to leave and to discuss the case with anyone.
It's very important to report to jury services because everyone is entitled to be heard and to have a fair trial. And it's important to do your duty as a citizen. It's part of the American way. The right to trial by jury is one of the cornerstones of our democratic society. By serving You help ensure that this right is available to everyone in our community. I hope that you find your service both meaningful and rewarding. Thank you for your time, your commitment, and your willingness to uphold justice in the Commonwealth of Virginia.